This video will be a short overview on how to use the lesson plan template and how to maximize your efficiency in creating lesson plans. Once you've clicked the link and you've opened up the Google Sheet, make sure you're logged into your Google account. And then when you click View Only, it won't allow you. So don't worry about asking for edit access. Just click File and make a copy. And then you can make a copy of the template and edit it however you'd like. And that way we have one standardized lesson plan template to keep drawing from. And you can create different lesson plan templates from the same template. So pick an area where you'd like to save it to in your Google Drive and then hit OK. It'll open up a new tab for you, and that way you have an editable version for you, and you can still go back and have a blank version that's neutral ground zero. Once you've made a copy, you can start editing this and you can save it to whatever you want. So you can change the name and you know it's saved in your drive. So you have a unique copy. The first thing that we need to do is select the grade level. Everything in the drop-down menus are dependent upon the grade level. So just click the down arrow and select whatever grade you are working on. So for now, I'll select 3rd grade. Once 3rd grade is selected, it will give you a color, and each color will then match up with your SOLs. If there's a mismatch in colors, you'll know that your grade and the SOLs are not matched. Here you can type in by double-clicking your lesson title. And then you can also select your big ideas by double-clicking and typing once you get as far as the SOLs, you now have the option of selecting a drop-down of SOLs. So once you've selected grade 3, it'll drop down and allow you to select whatever grade you're working on in those SOLs for computer science. If you're wondering, well, that's a lot of SOLs, I don't remember which one, you can go down to these bottom tabs and look at the SOLs. Every grade level will be listed, so you're welcome to go down, find grade 3, and then look for the SOL that you're trying to employ in your lesson. There's also a description and the strand. So let's go back to the lesson plan template by clicking LP, select the drop down, and now we can say I wanted 3.8, and it will automatically input the strand for you. You can input up to 5 different SOLs for computer science, and it will automatically put in the strand. If you know what CS concepts that you'd like, you can select those as well, and you can put up to 6 within this particular form. If you're integrating your CS lesson into another subject area, you can do that with up to 5, and all the SOLs are listed from English to history with some visual arts as well. So let's say we want to input a science lesson. Now we have the science SOLs here. If I'm not sure which SOL is which, I can go to my SOLs, go down to science, and again, you could search this and then look for 3. Here are the strands for those. I am going to do a force, motion, and energy. So that's science 3.2. So I'll go back to my lesson plan. I can type 3.2 and it will input the strand for you. Okay. If you want to look at the actual SOL documents, I've linked those here as well. So if you're like, well, I'd like to look at the math ones, you can click that and that should open up a new tab for you and then allow you to download the SOLs. Once you've selected all your SOLs, you can see that our grades all match up. They're all yellow. If you're like, oh, that was a 4th grade, it's going to mess up the other tabs, and see how there's a red mark. You'll know that they're not the right SOLs. So now it switches to 4. It was supposed to be 4.2, and that should line up. Same thing here. That was supposed to be 4.8. So you can backtrack, but it gets a little more complicated. Now everything's lined up. The CS concepts are also grade specific, and if you'd like to look at those, there's a tab for those as well. And you can find now grade 4 and what those concepts are. Go back and I'll say, well, I have an attribute, blog, and we're good to go. Okay, these non-drop downs are just text boxes. So feel free to type in whatever you need here. And then the lesson at a glance again, if you have multiple parts, you can enter all that information here. And then you can keep working through. Okay, now we've broken it down into those parts. So all of these areas here can now be broken up even further into lesson part 1. And feel free to enter text just like before. Just double click on any of these boxes and enter your text. Okay, and that should be pretty simple. We do have introduction, demonstration, activities, next steps, wrap-up discussion, and then any resource or links are nice to add here, especially for the CS related concepts. For CS teaching strategies, we do have another drop-down menu, and you can select those within the drop-down menu, and then you're welcome to type a short reflection on how you might meet that CS teaching strategy. You can add up to 3 CS teaching strategies in that part of the lesson. And the same thing, our equity strategies are here as well. And we've combined the equitable teaching practices as well as the culturally responsive teaching practices. So feel free to grab those and then type in your reflection and how you're going to complete that within your lesson as well. This section is repeated as part 2, and it's the same block. And if you'd like to add up to 5 parts, just feel free to select this area between those dark lines. You can hit Control C and then hit Control V, and then you can do another lesson part 3, and then feel free to make that lesson part 4, and you can continue on for as long as you'd like. Okay. Once you feel like you've accomplished a solid lesson plan and you're interested in printing it or making it a PDF, this is pretty easy in Google Sheets. The first thing we'll do is try to make a PDF. So we can actually just hit print. And then if you look here, we're looking at the current sheet and we want to go portrait. This is designed for portrait. And where it says scale, fit to width, fit to page, we don't care about that because we actually want to hit set custom page breaks. So if you see all these lines here, we really want those page breaks to be on those darkened cells here. Okay, so you can drag these all the way over and make sure you get the whole entire part there. Then you can drag these lines up and you can put them right at those cells there so you get that page break. And that way you've got a dark line at the top of every page. And the same thing goes for this line. You can bring that right there. So we've got our pages. So you confirm breaks. And now you've got your overview on the front, and then you've got your parts. You got 2 parts per page. And now you can print that as a PDF, or you can print that as an actual paper document. So in this case, I'm printing a PDF, and I'll just open it in Firefox. And there you go. There's your lesson document there. All your stuff is listed. And you have a complete PDF document that you can upload to the OER resources or save for yourself or share with other teachers. Hopefully this helps and gets you started. A couple caveats: try not to click anything in here. This will autofill when you start putting your drop downs in. So try to leave this last tab, equations, do not touch, alone, because that will change when you edit stuff. Okay, any of the information you need can be pulled through in these bottom tabs as well. Hopefully that helps. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.